if you want to stand out in a job application, you have to do something that not everybody is doing. And that is why I decided to do an app for my job application. I learned this from Eitemi. He said, show the interviewer or the person that is collecting the job application that you are ready to put in work, and you have already put in the work already. Show them that you are of value, right? I was applying to Shuttlers. I know that most people in Lagos will be familiar with Shuttlers, but I was applying to Shuttlers. It's a very good company. You just raised like about $4 million, in their last raising round, right? And then I really had this drive for logistics, right? So I decided I would do my internship at Shuttlers, but as God will have it, I couldn't find any job opening for internships on their, websites and stuff. And once I got to Rain, which is where I currently do my internship, it's more of like a learning AI and robotics type of thing, right? He was like, I know the person, and I can put you through, because in Rain, I learned there on a normal day during the summer. So, it was just easy for me to just go into Rain, and just continue my internship as normal, right? So, I couldn't pass up the opportunity to, send my application directly to the owner of Shuttlers. I couldn't pass that up. That was a very fantastic opportunity that I couldn't pass up. So, I went back home, I drafted a message, and then it just occurred to me that why don't I just do a personalized video with a project for Shuttlers? And that's the ideation stage, right? I started pondering and I was like, what can I do to Shuttlers that will be of value to them? And I remember when I tried to use Shuttlers in Lagos, because I don't know different bus stops. I don't know different bus stops, but I know where I want to go to, right? I don't know the bus stops, but I just know where I want to go to, right? So I was like, I envisioned, me putting my location and then, where I want to go to, and then have it like on the map, the same way you have it on Google Maps. Once you put in your location and get the directions, then the routes that come below, when I click on them, I'll see the route is gonna take in conjunction with, my own route that is already visualized, right? So, you can have red and blue. So every route that I click on will be red, and then my own is blue, it's just stagnant, to be there. And I'll be like, that's fantastic, right? And then I can further add like AI, to it. Maybe if I want to describe more routes, let's say, people want to communicate with the routes, like they want to know whether this stop is this close to Czech Republic, should I take this route? Different types of things. That's what I thought, and that's what I put into practice, right? That's what I did for the interview, and I did this within 1 day. And that's the power of AI. Like, AI will help you do so much so fast. I'm going to put a link below for the job application video, right? AI will allow you to do things so fast that you do not even need to sweat anymore, Okay, so now it's time for what I actually did in the project, like the tech stack that I used and what I used to maximize my output and deliver within 1 day, right? So first of all, it had like 3 parts. So there's the back end, front end, then the AI integration, right? And then on the front end, I had Matplotlib and I had Open Leaflet for the map visualization, right? For the back end, I did that within about maybe 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hour, ChatGPT helped me speed everything up, For if you watch my last video, you already know my tech stack for AI, my AI workflow. I use ChatGPT for the back end and the skeleton of the front end, and I use Claude AI for styling the front end, right? And VO for visualizing the entire project before I start. So, ChatGPT helped me out with the back end. I did that within 2 hours due to a lot of reiterations, because you have to go over a couple of things, right? You can't just expect AI to do everything at once. Like, people make that mistake, think that you can build entire applications with one prompt. That does not exist right now. Right now, if you want to build standard applications, you can't do it in one prompt, right? So then onto the front end, I had some struggles with Open Leaflet and the coding it. So, when I maybe sent from Oli to Yabonku or Bodija, there's still a problem with getting the coordinates within so that the the Matplotlib can actually do the visualization path of the drive-through through the map. You know, it would have been better if I could get Google, but I have this ache for paying for stuff, right? So I didn't even know that you could use Google Maps for free, you know, integrating into your projects, but that's just by the way, right? And for the AI integration, I used a free open source one, you know, a free model, Meta's model. I used that for my AI integration. That was to give extra description of the route, right? And, you know, it helps a lot of users, like, you know. And then there was also something that I failed to mention, but if you watch the video, which I put the link in the bio and the description, right? If you watch that video, you will see that there was also go to bus stop, right? And that thing is so useful because my bus stop may be closed, but I don't know where that stuff is, right? And then, in as much as I get the location of the bus stop, you know, I just want to know where the team is directly, you know. And then that stuff, I felt like it was a very cool add-on, right? It was very fresh, you know. Anyway, for the updates of the entire thing, for what I did and how the outcome was, no, I didn't get an internship. I didn't get an internship with Shuttlers. Now, the reason behind it, I actually don't know. Because about 17 people saw the video because it was unlisted, right? But then I saw about 17 people saw the video and it was only to one person I submitted it to. So maybe they didn't like it. Maybe they didn't think the idea was great. Maybe they didn't think I was a good fit for the company, right? It's fine. Also, she did reply and she gave me her email to send my CV to. So maybe they were not impressed as much. But regardless, the whole procedure was very fruitful and it was very good, because for her to even, you know, decide to give me her email to actually even send my CV to it, that's pretty cool to me, you know. And I feel like it's some sort of encouragement, you know. But that's it. You know, if you want to stand out, use AI to the full extent and do projects that you can actually, you know, show people, you know. Because with that, I'm sure that okay, this guy is actually ready. Let me see what he has to offer in his CV, whether he can actually be a good fit into the company and stuff, right? So maybe I wasn't, maybe I was, who knows? But I know that if you try it, the story might be different, you know, if you try it. And then I also put the link down to editing this video so that you guys can see how he landed his own job too, because his own was successful, right? You know, yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you, and please subscribe.